Basically, I was only describing um how I don't like freaking kids shows or like any kind of media which shows people neglecting like their pets or like those stupid things that like try to tug your heartstrings or something, saying, "Oh, for some reason human being has to abandon dog for their own safety or because they don't want them." Like, I just hate that shit because not only is it cliched, but like freaking the idea of that actually going down in real life just sounds upsetting. Like, what kind of appeal is that to seeing that? Obviously, I don't. Like, I'll tell you this much: I get super paranoid when I think my dog can get hurt by something. It's funny how it's funny how we're doing this today because the thing is, my old dog that passed away a couple of years ago, today would have been his 12th birthday. Yes, it would have. What? No, it was carelessness on a old. It was due to, from what the real cause is not known, but my theory is that it was due to carelessness by an old lady, not my gram. Certainly not my gram, even though my gram blamed herself. Hmm. I mean, what was that through this, a similar scenario of what happened to Brandon's bird? Because like whoever gave the shot must not have given it right, and it could have severed like a major vein or something. Hmm. Well, yeah, like what kind of dog was it? Oh, then yeah, 12 is fairly old. Hmm. Yeah, like I just brought up the Daddy 05 scenario where literally it was this dad and his new wife that gained custody of like a couple of his kids. Two kids in particular. Literally, all the dad did, alongside one of the older brothers, that I think was the kid of the new wife, literally all they did was pull so-called prank videos where basically they did all these mundane bullshit, blaming the kids for things they didn't do, and basically yelling at the top of their lungs at them, and worst case, actually freaking physically abusing them, like dragging them across the floor, hitting them into a freaking cabinet. And yeah, like freaking those kids, like in those videos, they were clearly getting mentally scarred by all that crap. Thankfully, though, YouTube took notice and freaking blasted his channel into oblivion. And on top of that, he lost custody of the two kids who returned to their birth mom. And if I recall correctly, he and the new wife got charges pressed against them. And of course, I think he made a freaking apology video where, of course, in classic DSP fashion, he denied any wrongdoing. Why is it that everyone has to be a narcissistic jerk? Narciss If you're narcissistic, that basically means you care about nobody. You have no lick of caring about anyone or anything other than yourself. Oh, Brandon's in the chat. Oh, yeah, that's right. He said he was going to go see that. Yeah. But yeah, like it just feels like part of the reason I don't like watching people on YouTube is that it feels like the majority of people seem to only care about their own opinion. Yeah, a lot of people tend to treat their opinion as fact. I mean, some are less toxic than others, like what MarioTube covered yesterday. That one freaking Sony fan idiot that freaking praised the death of a kid that got to play Smash Brothers just before he died of cancer, saying, "Yay, another Nintendo drone bite the dust." I more or less, like, as he was dying of cancer, he wasn't going to live to Smash Ultimate's release, so he wanted to be able to play the game. So somehow someone got in contact with Nintendo, and he managed to get, like, an early build of the game to play with his friends and family just before he passed. That's not the only case of that happening, by the way. It's happened with plenty of other people before. Like, I mean, generally, I think that's what happens. Well, a stupid idiot on YouTube that basically praises anything PlayStation and hates anything Nintendo and Xbox. Essentially, he was celebrating the death of the kid because it meant one less Nintendo fan. No, they're not. Even then, it could have just been a troll begging for attention, but I don't know. Yeah, I have all of them. I mean, I would say it's probably not worth it to get an Xbox because I don't think there's really anything you'd want on there. Play Shrek. Well, you would have to get an original Xbox because it's not backwards compatible with the 360, and it's probably not going to be backwards compatible with the Xbox One. Yes, I do. Yes, and it'll just give me an error message because if you insert any disc other than what's on the official list, it's not going to work. Yes, it's not. So let's see here. But yeah, like generally, I also hate when a lot of people on the internet try to celebrate the death of someone who just died or wish death upon someone just because of a differing opinion. Like that, like for instance, there was people that there was that one professor lady that celebrated the death of Barbara Bush, and then she ended up gloating in everyone's faces that her university would never fire her. I don't remember people attacking Stephen Hawking. Huh. But yeah, Total Biscuit, I know for a fact there was a lot of SJWs celebrating his death. And even for people that are still alive, like sometimes if when people that are still alive make an anti SJW comment, they get a lot of death threats. Like for instance, I don't know how, but when I did like a big movie binge, somehow Clint Eastwood became one of my favorite actors. He ended up making a pretty blunt anti SJW comment where he claims that the millennial generation was the quote unquote pussy generation because they always had reason to get offended over anything, and how essentially they couldn't just man up and try to handle things on their own. Like they keep claiming everything's bullying, everything is harassment, or I don't know exactly what he said, but he did make the pussy generation comment. And of course, freaking on his and of course, Imbers went on Eastwood's. I don't know if it was on his social media or if it was just in a news article, but of course, SJWs are like, "Oh, Clint Eastwood, that old cool. I wouldn't. I'm just waiting for him to die. That's gonna be a happy day." Why would you celebrate the death of a person just because you don't agree with them? That's just wrong. If you think that, you legit care about no one but yourself. And as Angry Grandpa put it, you're probably not even a human being. Like, that's why Angry Grandpa was one of the few people on YouTube I liked, because he always had uplifting comments like that. Like, even though he was a guy on YouTube infamous for breaking shit all the time, like, he really did care about his fans. And the thing is, anytime one of his fans would send him a fan mail letter talking about going through tough times, like, he would always say the phrase, "it gets better." Because thing is, like, like, some people that watch this may think their own life is bad. Try Angry Grandpa's. When he was a kid, his freaking father got into a car accident that left him a quadriplegic for life, which left his family like almost completely depleted of funds. Angry Grandpa's older sister had to drop out of school just to help their mom pay the bills. And Angry Grandpa himself, like, he went through periods of complete alcoholism. He was a heavy smoker. He gained a lot of weight. In fact, there were various times where he just flat out almost died. Mm-hmm. Why? Because Stephen Hawking was an atheist. I mean, I tend to not like atheists all that much, only because they tend to be like down to earth negative people that have no positive outlook on anything. Like, I'm not saying everything has to be sunshine and rainbows, but you have to have a level of optimism, because sometimes you make things worse. A lot of people make things worse than they actually are. I don't know. I guess it depends. Like, well, then again, it may also be due to my own personal experience with atheists, because I ran into a couple of them at my school, and they weren't exactly the nicest people to deal with. I don't know. Like that's just my own personal experience. I mean, if you're both more positive and an atheist, that's fine. But I don't know. Like I just like people that have more optimism in them. Realistic, but not everything sucks. Don't bother trying. Yeah, I hate Watch Mojo. Well, their attempts at humor fail miserably. Like they try to be all internet cringe. Like for instance, like frequently, if they talk about something weird, they'll always end their sentence by saying "what." Yeah, I know what an agnostic atheist is. It's an yeah, agnostic. The thing with agnostic is that you don't know what to believe. Yeah, agnostic atheists, they lean a bit more towards atheism due to the lack of proof, but otherwise they kind of just don't know they just kind of don't know what to believe, and they're kind of more open.
Hello, hello. Yeah, that's. That's. This is why I wish you were watching the streams. You could hear these things. Well, all that talk about didn't get picked up at all. So, yay! Whatever.
Even mine.
No, yours is fine. It's mine. Whatever. They're mic moving now. I think. No, I already did the damn Can Crush. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm I consider myself an agnostic theist evolutionist. Definitely not creationist. But I still kind of, I don't know if it's the way I grew up. Even though I haven't been in church in like, even though I haven't been in church in like 10 years, I guess that background stuff still, the way I grew up, I guess, it's still there. Yeah, now I'm very loud. So awesome. But yeah, let's see. Yeah. So what happened with what other YouTubers do you not like? That's just them.
Well, another thing with Watch Mojo that I don't like is they constantly get facts wrong, or they overlook information that makes their points invalid.
No, definitely not me.
What?
Sparrow asked anyone if anyone here's a flat earther.
Flat earther? No.
You should turn the chat on so you can look at this stuff.
I already am.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. I can't even. Thank God the dog isn't going to be coming down to cry at me because it's still thundering outside.
But yeah. So, well,
I mean, well, I wanted to pull up a specific list of things I don't like about WatchMojo because I wrote down 3 examples in particular. I just need to find my Switch HDMI cord because I wanted to turn that on. There. Alright, let's see. Alright, here we go. Oh, wow, my freaking point got 7 upvotes.
From
because I put my freaking point on a freaking website called the Top 10s where anyone can like try to like vote on like top 10 best or worst things. So, one thing that I would argue they got wrong was that in their top 10 hardest N64 games list, they put Perfect Dark on there, but then they don't even so much as mention GoldenEye. Like, I would argue that GoldenEye is the harder of the 2 games because its gameplay is a lot more basic and it throws a shit ton more enemies and escort missions at you. Whereas Perfect Dark, I would argue, is a lot more forgiving in that regard because they throw in a lot more variety of like tactics you have to use, so it's not as easy to like fail the mission instantly. Then in the hardest Grand Theft Auto missions, they placed a GTA 4 mission called the Snowstorm because basically you have to go into like an abandoned building to get like a freaking package of cocaine. But then the cops end up storming into the building and you have to fight your way through a 3-star wanted rating, which is the first time this would happen in-game story-wise. And it can be kind of difficult because of the area the mission takes place in. Like, not too many places to run from the cops. In theory, WatchMojo completely neglected to mention that there is a piss-easy way to beat the mission. All you have to do is jump in the ocean nearby. There's a boat right there. Get in the boat. Drive away. The cops can only follow you for so long.
Oh, yeah. They're talking about GoldenEye in the chat now.
Yeah. That's messed up. GoldenEye was the best. Yeah, I would argue Perfect Dark was the better of the 2 games, but I would say GoldenEye was the harder difficulty. So, let's see.
Oh, and Brandon said the intro band just got done playing. The intro band was the Stone Shower now. Now it's the intermission before Ozzy takes the stage.
Yay.
Yeah, Sparrow, Brand's over on the Twitch chat, Sparrow. But, anyways, so what brings you to a YouTuber?
Meanwhile, I didn't finish with WatchMojo, though. Like, I'll say the one thing that was indisputably, like, freaking, you can excuse Perfect Dark and you can excuse Grand Theft Auto as just being their opinion. With this case, they got a fact wrong. They have an incredibly, seemingly biased opinion, which is really pushing it, and they even get a fact wrong, just for the sake of pushing a joke. So, they called a game called, in their top 10 worst games based on horror movies list, they placed a game called Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick on the list. And I guess that's fine, but then it gets better. I mean, in my opinion, the game is not as bad as everyone says, but then when I heard where they were going with it, they were like, oh, it was such a disappointing follow-up to Evil Dead: Hail to the King that Bruce Campbell didn't even come back to voice Ash, making it hit even harder. Then that's where they got the fact wrong. Bruce Campbell did return to do the voice. And you know how I know that?
How do you know that?
Here is the cover of the game. What does that say?
Featuring Bruce Campbell. Da da da.
And number 2, they are the only people on the face of the earth that I've ever seen call Evil Dead: Hail to the King a good game. Because it seems that the more popular consensus, which I kind of share because I've played Hail to the King myself, is that it's a crappy Resident Evil clone. Whereas Fistful of Boomstick is more highly regarded, even with, like, critics. How the hell do you mix that up?
I do not know. Again. God damn it. It was like a frozen.
By the way, yeah, the webcam seemed to be getting frozen.
Ah, God damn it.
Is your bitrate dropping?
I have no idea.
It's not hard to tell. It's on the bottom.
I guess it's red or green. I can't tell colors that well. And I've got the frames. Is the audio still good, oh?
It seems okay.
Well, fine. Just deal with audio issues. As long as they can hear us, it's fine. I can do about it. My hair sucks, so I get updated. So what? Alright. So what brings you to a YouTuber?
Honestly, not really that much anymore. Like, I prefer watching stuff from when I was a kid nowadays. Like, it's been a very long time since I was attracted to a person on YouTube. But generally, if I did come across someone, I have a couple of check marks. Number 1, no JonTron humor.
I didn't know what that is.
Like, essentially the kind of humor that uses random audio cuts, random zoom-in effects. Like, they're very, like, basically ADD editing, where it's constantly moving, people's, like, voices pitch, and the tone of their voice is constantly changing. Like, I already mentioned a video that I tried to watch online that was it advertised trying to figure out what the hardest game in the Souls series was. Literally, all it was this nerdy girl freaking being JonTron for like a half hour. And I gave up 10 minutes in when I realized that she didn't seem to be making a point.
Hmm. Yeah. I go through different stages of YouTube. When I first got YouTube, I mainly used to watch video clips of stuff before they got taken down. And then later on, when I moved out, I found this new thing called 2009. I found this thing called Let's Players. I still watch some of them that I watched back then. I still watch today. Like I still watch Nintendo Capri Sun. He's pretty funny. You ever heard of him?
Mine.
What?
I've heard the name, but I've never actually seen him.
Wow. Okay.
Who hears thunder in the background?
I don't. So, anyways, yeah, I originally got these. I originally started like certain type of games, so I went to YouTube to find games, you know. At the time, like Secret of Mana, so I found Secret of Mana. I found some Secret of Mana Let's Players, and then I kept on watching them because hey, this guy's pretty funny. So I'm like, I kept on going. Yeah, I came for the games, but I stayed for the YouTuber. And he's played a lot of games throughout the. He's been around since like 2007, so he's been around since the beginning. So he's been playing a lot of games. And also, he's kind of the reason I met you.
Yeah.
You already know the story. Alexa, play Rocket Thunder Rolls by Garth Brooks.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is that it originally. There we go. Nowadays, I mean, in the past, I used to watch a lot of people as long as they played games that I wanted to see. Like, I used to watch the Game Grumps for their one-off videos where they played shitty games. I did used to watch JonTron all the time. And
the only JonTron video I remember watching is that Disney hack.
The Disney bootlegs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit, after JonTron released his videos and all that, it felt like for a while, just like how back in the late 2000s, every major game reviewer was trying to copy the AVGN, it felt like after JonTron hit the scene, everyone was trying to copy JonTron. But while everyone hated most of the AVGN ripoffs, freaking everybody loved the JonTron ripoffs, pretty much. I mean, sure, everyone had some hints of originality here and there, because I guess JonTron's style of humor is a bit more flexible. But I don't know, like, I just don't like that style of humor. Like, for me, most of the humor of me watching a game-related video is when someone is playing a bad game, and the reason why I've stuck with AVGN is because I laugh more at the game's shittiness than I do the reactions. Like, it's all about anticipation of for me, it's all about anticipation of the reactions when the game does something bullshit.
I don't know YouTube. I don't know Twitch would be any better, but yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like in YouTube, like not YouTube, when Let's Player is actually talking, either about the game or about something else. I can't stand when they're silent. I can't stand things that are silent. Videos that are silent.
And that's generally why I don't play good games for Let's Plays, because unless there's somebody in the call with me, generally I have nothing to say, because I mean, the game's good and I'm having fun. What is there for me to say? That's why I generally do it. That's why I generally try to do good games as live streams where other people come on, so that way I have something to talk about.
I don't think he does that much potty humor. Does he still do? I don't think he does that much potty humor anymore.
Who does potty humor?
No, doesn't. AVGN doesn't use.
AVGN. I don't think he was really too much about the potty humor. He was more about the cursing.
Yeah, I don't think he does that much. He does that much anymore, does he?
Kind of. I mean, today he released a video on some Tomb Raider games.
I haven't either I haven't noticed it that much, or I'm just so used to it by now. I'm like, whatever. I just don't know. I mean, the earlier ones definitely, but you know, I just don't notice that that much anymore.
But yeah, that's one reason I did stick with AVGN all throughout the years. In fact, the best part is he's a legit good guy, like James Rolfe himself. Like, one guy brought it up best in a freaking video where basically he was talking about how he didn't like the Nostalgia Critic and how the Nostalgia Critic frequently made child abuse jokes. And he compares him to James Rolfe, who was playing Mega Man X for a live stream, but then he had to briefly leave because the baby monitor went off and he had to go take care of one of his daughters.
He has a kid? I did not know that.
He has 2 kids.
Ah.
I mean, one of them's already old enough to be going to school, but the other one's, like, still a toddler.
Yeah, his older videos definitely did that, but...
The constant potty humor annoys you to no end. He doesn't really do potty humor much anymore. Like I said, I'm there to see his reactions to... I was there to see his reactions to shitty games. And then I basically stayed because I liked what I saw.
Yeah. And it makes you want to go back to watch the older things. That's what I did with this other guy I like, Nico B. 2 years ago, I was watching Kingdom Hearts reviews to get in. I was watching 2016. I was watching some Kingdom Hearts Let's Players to get knowledge for our Let's Play that we were doing of 2. You know, it's like, hey, what's this guy? This guy was pretty. I saw this guy. He was pretty funny. He did some adult humor, you know, little adult humor here and there, with voices and stuff, and making out, you know, with people. But how I like this content, and because of him, I found out about these games I like now. I'm doing Let's Plays of Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa. And we found out even about those games. I wasn't into KH and saw his review of it. So yeah, sometimes you go to something for one thing, you find something totally different that you never even heard about before. You're like, wow, these games are pretty good. I want to play them now.
That's probably one reason why I don't like watching many people on YouTube anymore, because YouTube was basically the way I discovered knowledge of, like, new games to play and everything. But now, it's like, I've learned about all there is to learn about. So now, the only thing that would bring me to people on YouTube is if I liked them to begin with, and if I wanted to see their opinion on something. But a lot of the times, a lot of people love crapping on things that I actually like. Like, for instance, when Final Fantasy 15 was coming out, everybody was immediately crapping on that game. And even when it came out, like, people still nowadays say, yeah, it was a big disappointment. 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 My opinion is right, and you're all wrong if you like it. Frickin' this one guy makes an hour-long video on Final Fantasy 15 and why his opinion is nothing more than it being a mediocre game. And of course, everyone on GameFAQs that loves shitting on anything that isn't classic Final Fantasy ate it up.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like the older Final Fantasy games.
Like, in all honesty, it's not that I have my own opinions and I get salty when people push their own opinions. It's that when people push their own opinions, they push it as fact. Like, for instance, the AVGN, back in the early 2010, I had my PS3. AVGN ended up admitting that he had never used his PS3 to there was a time when he never used his PS3 to play games.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he pretty much only used it as a Blu-ray player, and the first time he seemingly ever played a PS3 game was when he got Castlevania Lords of Shadow. And yeah, and yet he showed no sort of bias towards Xbox. Like, he just happened to just buy everything on Xbox, and he had, like, no ill will against PlayStation or anything like that. But then you have people like Darkness the Curse and, like, all the Xbox fanboys had to deal with school, where any mention of PlayStation was, like, freaking the calling of sin, and you were, like, freaking the hellspawn that needed to be put down.
But also, back to the atheist thing. A lot of my favorite YouTubers are atheists. Really, I consider them very hilarious. Like Logic, Armored Skeptic, Shoe on Head.
I never heard of any of those names. Generally, I would prefer it if people didn't bring their personal life into their YouTube stuff, unless it had something to do with, like, the videos itself. I don't care if you're in a relationship, if you have personal beliefs. Like, if it gets in the way of making a video, then go worry about it.
You said give them. That's the point of the video. Is they're debunking, like, flat earthers, or they're debunking SJWs. They're debunking. Like the reaction videos that like Shoe on Head is a girl that, like, makes fun of SJWs. And
really, I thought a lot of SJWs were atheists.
Well, doesn't mean the anti-SJWs can't be either.
I mean, I've noticed that people that are far left, people that are far right tend to be religious, and then people that are far left can be more atheist.
Or in the middle.
Yeah.
That's what I say. The far right would probably be Gnostic theists. The people on the far left might be Gnostic atheists or something. But I don't know. But yeah. Just because you're one or the other doesn't mean you can be something else either.
I mean, I'm not on either side.
Neither am I. But
all I know is that I do think, like, the idea of religion is important because it helps bring people together.
Not always.
Generally, with the religion I've experienced, like, yes, it does.
Most of the time, it divides people.
When you try to debate what religion is right, but way I see it, the only religion that my gram ever dealt with was, I think, Christianity or something. She always went to, like, a Russian church, and she just helped out there. Thing is, they didn't talk about religion all that much. They were just helping out, like, making Thanksgiving dinner for all each other.
Mine did. Mine got in the. What reason I quit my church? It got in the political. Started getting the political game. Like you have to vote this way if you're a Christian. I'm like, no, I don't.
Oh, well, my church never did that. None of my churches ever did that.
They started handing out pamphlets of stuff like, oh, gotta vote Republican because...
Yeah, my churches have never done that. Not even the freaking protesters that want you to turn towards their religion that sometimes come to my door. Not even do they do that. Like, all they say is, oh, believe our faith. That's it. They don't bring politics or anything. It's weird.
Yeah.
Guess it depends where you live.
Yeah. But I like YouTubers to have a sense of humor. Like they do. They have a sense of humor about their videos. Like, they can make me laugh. Like a few months ago, when I was depressed about everything, I watched this Armored Skeptic video. I'm sure Sparrow's heard of him, and he was debunking a guy, like a video about a guy who was talking about how Jerry Seinfeld was the agent of the devil. And I'm like, what? I just laughed and laughed and laughed at his stupidity.
Generally, I do not. Generally, it feels like I don't really go to YouTube for entertainment anymore, but generally just because I've watched the people I watch for years and I just like seeing their opinions on stuff. Generally, I've noticed that a lot of people on YouTube tend to have some kind of bias, and I hate when people have a bias.
And I also watch videos for knowledge too, like another atheist YouTuber I like is called Aaron Raw. He does all these his name's Aaron Raw. He's a little biased, but I watch him for his knowledge videos, and he does these biology videos and stuff. And I also watch what's it called? The Shy Show, or this guy named Hank Green or whatever, or John Green, and he does knowledge videos about history and stuff. And history, I love his videos about history and ancient animals.
Well, I don't really know what to say about people that I try to find. All I know is that the only people that I still stick with, like the only people, like generally aside from the AVGN, there's only like 2 other people that I feel like sticking with. They are Cinematic Excrement and Dark Lord Jado. Only because they are completely not biased towards any kind of viewpoint.
Yeah,
and because I just kind of like seeing their opinions on stuff.
I still watch the Nostalgia Critic, even though he's controversial now. I still watch his stuff.
I don't know. I may slowly ease my way back into Nostalgia Critic, but
I still don't. To be honest with that, today I found out a good channel for learning interesting things. Today I found out there's a good channel for learning interesting things. So yeah, I go there for humor. To learn things. Obviously, you know, I like learning new things. That's why I get my catchphrase from. Never stop learning. Because sometimes YouTube can teach you stuff, you know. A lot of times it doesn't. But then also, that's it. I go. It's for humor, like Nico B, Nintendo Capri Sun, Logic, Shoe on Head has lots of. Sometimes I gotta laugh, because you know laughter is important to me sometimes, especially when I'm feeling down.
If I need laughter, I just watch the stuff that I want that I saw as a kid. Like, for some reason, like, increasingly, YouTube videos haven't really made me laugh all that much for some reason.
But then also go to watch games too. Sometimes. Lately, I've been watching lately I've been watching speedrunner games. But only the ones that have commentary on them. If I watch it for like 5 minutes, they're not talking, I'm like, next. Oh, I also like to watch the bridge series, like Little Karibo and Team 4-Star, because they're funny.
Ironically, even though Let's Play videos were among the earliest videos I saw on YouTube, ironically, I haven't watched Let's Play videos of other people in quite some time. Like, even though I make them and they're the primary videos I've made, I have just never really bothered to watch them from other people. The only exception would have to be Let's Play videos made amongst my inner circle on YouTube, more or less. But not from other people.
I think something I watch too many Let's Plays or other videos. I don't do my own work sometimes. I feel like oh, because I get distracted easily. Oh, let's watch this video. Like, it's hilarious. Watch this other video. Oh crap! I'm doing work today. So yeah, sometimes it's a bad thing for me because I get distracted too easily. Oh, a laugh can be a very powerful thing. Sometimes in life, it's the only weapon we have. Quote by Roger Rabbit.
Hmm.
Let's see what else we can talk about. Hold on. So also, what do I like? Humor, let's players. Should you ever seen any abridged series?
No.
You should watch Team 4-Star. They are hilarious. Of course, then you gotta be interested in the series. Like, you gotta be actually sometimes to enjoy abridgers. You gotta know something about the thing they're copying.
Usually, a bridge series is for anime, isn't it? Because I don't really watch anime.
There was a bridge series for there's a bridge series for Avatar.
Hmm.
So what other YouTubers do you like?
Me and I also watch Mysterious Mr. Renter, even though... and the funny thing is, in his earlier videos, he wasn't all that great looking back, but he's gotten a lot better over the years, and he fully acknowledges his past. And the thing is, even though he has a lot of opinions I don't agree with, like, he is certainly not biased, and I definitely am interested in seeing his perspective on stuff.
I dropped in to say hi, and then I'm gonna have to leave because I have to go to sleep now, so good luck with the rest of this. See ya.
Okay.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, humor, knowledge.
It's not so much for knowledge anymore because I feel like I know everything.
Really, that is a bad attitude to take. You can never know everything. You have to keep on. If you think you know everything, then you're gonna be stagnant and stuff.
I know, but
And
at the moment,
that's people like prideful people that say, I know people think I know everything. I only learn anything. You're stupid because I know everything. You don't. That's a bad attitude.
There's a difference between learning new skills and learning about new people than there is just learning about the same media over and over again. Like, I don't know, like, I know that there must be some value in learning people's different opinions, but people that have widely different opinions are very rare to come by.
But you never know until you go out there and.
But I don't know where to look.
You don't know where to look?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you shouldn't, like, that's my opinion at least. You shouldn't say you know everything.
Yeah, I know, but it just feels like for older stuff, I feel like I know everything I want to know.
See, that right there, that you wanted to know. Like older stuff, sometimes I like like I didn't know, like for long I didn't know about older Final Fantasy games. Like I didn't know how good 4 was until I saw an older Let's Play of it from.
I mean, it literally feels like I've tried everything there is. Like, that's probably why I freaked out at the movie Molly's Game earlier this year, because it was a positively reviewed movie, but I feel like I had seen that exact similar story before, and I just hated how it wasn't anything new. Like last year, I was going to the movies basically every weekend. This year, I don't plan to see another movie until the new Halloween comes out, and that'll be almost 3 months since I had last seen a movie in theaters, and that was Mission Impossible.
Last movie I saw in theaters was Winnie the Pooh. No, Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin.
Granted, you could argue Mission Impossible's plot wasn't anything original, but the freaking action set pieces brought in actual suspense, and that's what I like, suspense.
Yeah, I like Christopher Robin because it had moments.
And I didn't like Molly's Game because it was pretending like it was something bigger than it actually was. That, and it told its story completely out of order, ruining any kind of intrigue or mystery there could have been.
Sparrow's got a game called The Vagrant. It's quite the challenge. It's a side view RPG, hack and slash. I like RPGs.
I thought it was Vagrant Story.
What?
I thought it was Vagrant Story, unless there is a game called The Vagrant.
See, my favorite anime. Phil don't have one, but right now, see, for anime, I like Boruto. I like Card Captors Secure Card Captors Clear Card. I like the Dark Nova 3 anime. When I was growing up, I liked Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. I liked Reboot. I liked Inuyasha. I liked the original Naruto. What did I like? Let's see there. I'm sure there's more. I can't remember them right now. Mine's going blank. I have not seen Attack on Titan. I've heard of it, I haven't seen it.
I've seen some of it, but not full episodes.
Oh yeah. That reminds me, I can't believe you did Nemo without me yesterday.
Yeah, well, I just felt like doing it because MarioTube seemed upset, and you were nowhere to be found.
Well, I guess since we're just not saying, you're not saying anything else, I guess we're going to end this now. So, alright. We learned that opinions aren't fact, and you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and they give new things a chance. You never know what you might find when you do. Well, next time we'll have more topics and more talkative people.
Yeah, sorry, I don't really have nothing. Like, I'm just in. Didn't really have anything to say about people on YouTube.
Maybe maybe we can subject back again when we have more talkative people. Fucking, I already did a damn Can Crush You. Go watch that video. Enjoy the randomness and never stop learning. And if you just do, it'll turn out okay. Peace.
As a rumble of thunder ends it.
I still don't hear a thunder.